The day has finally come. John Legere's final earnings report, quarter four of 2019. John nailed it. It was fun. Huge quarter for T-Mobile. They continue their positive momentum and growth. They had great numbers. They had great performance metrics. And we also got some important information. New Uncarrier move coming from T-Mobile. Stay tuned to this video. All of that starts now. Hey, what is going on, guys? It is the SMT. Thanks for tuning in to watch this edition of the SMT YouTube channel. It's been a busy day. I dropped a couple videos already. We got, the T-Mobile history of video that dropped earlier this morning. And, now we also have the quarter four earnings for 2019. And it's John's final one. It's a huge monumental day. And, John was funny. And there's a lot of stuff to cover. Mike Cesar got involved. The usual suspects were there, Braxton Carter and Neville Ray. Anyways, it was a really nice earnings call, actually. And, of course, T-Mobile had a great quarter. So before we get into all of that stuff, we're going to cover that in today's video. Let's talk a little bit about some of the stuff going on with the community. We have the SMT Patreon page. There's a link in the description box for that if you consider becoming a member there to the community. Also, we have the SMT Wireless Report Podcast. We're found on all of your favorite podcast apps. You guys can check it out, the SMT Wireless Report. Also, we have the At&t Twitter handle and also the Megadon.net invite code, the only social media that you will ever need. No algorithms, no ads, no tracking. You'll never need any other social media ever again. Do check out that code down there in the description box. Now, to get to the stuff from today's earnings report. Now, this is technically John's last earnings call. We're going to go over all the numbers, the earnings, the performances. We got some updates on operations. We were hoping for something of an update from T-Vision and home broadband that never really came. But there is some merger stuff. No exact dates. Nothing really groundbreaking there, but there is a little bit. It kind of started off first with John. He started speaking about, merger trial completion, awaiting a verdict from Judge Victor Marrero. He felt confident on the decision. He frequently dogged Verizon throughout the earnings report. What else would he do, right? He didn't want to really answer merger questions directly. He kept mentioning big cable throughout the earnings call. He also talked about Mike Cesar taking over as the new CEO in the transition, moving into May 1st, and how they've been planning that transition with the board. Also, it looks like we do have a big announcement forthcoming. It is going to be a new Uncarrier announcement, and that's going to be coming later on this quarter. So we will be expecting something there. Make sure you stay tuned to the channel for that. Also, he frequently was handing things off to Mike Cesar. John kept pushing things towards Mike for him to answer, and Mike was very receptive of that. And I think he responded pretty good. So Mike spoke about answering questions on BOGOs, customer retention. He offered good explanation in analytics, how to keep customers that he called sticky, those that stay with the company. So that was really good to see. Also, he spoke about enterprise growth and how they're doing good on the business side. That was really good. That's something that's pretty new for T-Mobile, as they haven't really exploited that segment of the consumer market. And then he also spoke about 5G phones, how they're going to be offering a sub-6 gigahertz and a millimeter wave phone or phones coming, this year. So multi-band support, that would be awesome for consumers. I know a lot of you out there are really looking forward to that. So that being the case, we're excited for that. In terms of the performance of the company in wireless, the only wireless carrier with no decline in postpaid device upgrades. All other carriers saw that, so that's awesome. Record-breaking customer service performances. J.D. Power wins in wireless. They are the best when it comes to customer care. 5 quarters in a row with better churn rate than AT&T. They're at 1.01 for this quarter. They will actually, I don't know if it was John or, it was Mike. He spoke about how they're going to start reporting new numbers for postpaid, talking about branded customers and non-phone valuations, things like that. So they'll start doing things a little different moving forward. Also, the numbers in terms of ads of all the carriers, T-Mobile came in at 1.3 million, Verizon at 790,000, Comcast at 261,000, AT&T 206,000, and Sprint minus 115,000. So that shows you how they compared as they continue to lead the market in growth. But Verizon really did have a good quarter. Anyways, that puts T-Mobile 27 quarters consecutively with 1+ million customers added. I think, in terms of quarter 4 2019 at 1.9 million customers added, with 1.3 million being postpaid, 77,000 being prepaid. In terms of the year, 7 million customers added for 2019, 4.5 million in postpaid, 339,000 in prepaid. Those are both very good metrics. 6 consecutive years of 5+ million annual customers added. Their total customer number is now at 86 million. In terms of numbers, free cash flow is up, adjusted EBITDA is up, much beyond expectation, all-time high in service revenues and quarters, top 3 EBITDA I think ever, record high cash flow. This is not including merger costs. Trust me, that changes things. Merger costs definitely hurt. They try to stay away from that explanation. Shareholders, I'm sure, are not happy about that, but the free cash flow outside of the merger was very high. There's probably more fees associated with the merger that are soon to come out. And of course, should things not pan out with the merger, there could also be some exit fees and what they'd have to pay to Sprint as a deal, a failure deal value there. So anyways, CapEx for 2020, for those of you looking forward, it looks like it's going to be a little bit down. I think actually it's for a couple of reasons. One, possibly because of merger spending, and another could be because of what they've been doing recently with 600 megahertz. So with network congestion and 600 megahertz coming, trying to be deployed and get to a larger scale, more pops, adding small cells to deal with congestion. I just don't understand how they're coming down in their CapEx. They must feel strongly about where they stand. I don't know. If they get the merger, all that changes, so we'll see what happens. Braxton spoke on this. Our projects roll over. They're like deposits, capitalizing long term. Mike spoke about promotions from T-Mobile. This was interesting. He said, we like to be unpredictable. They obviously teased the Uncarrier. There could be something there. He didn't speak specifically about anything. Also, Neville, on the 5G customer experiences, a lot of you probably are concerned about this. He said, that they're doing new upgrades to the market to get 30 to 40 megahertz of spectrum in some markets, and they're going to be focusing on layering. So he really didn't answer the question very well, nothing that really helps us specifically. Mike said they'll be springing ahead in 5G. I don't really know what that means. I don't know how, if their spending is going to be down. So they're obviously still don't have the LT that AT&T or Verizon has, so I'm not really sure what he's talking about there. Anyways, John also spoke about the walkaway ability of T-Mobile and their ongoing discussions with Sprint. So, if they need to discuss a rearrangement of the price due to the value of Sprint decreasing, losing customers, prepaid, not being involved, and all these other things, it looks like that is kind of still on the table. He also talked about the exits and the strategies that they'll have. Mike did admit that standalone, T-Mobile as a company does have limited capacity. The merger opens up tons of potential to MVNO deals that they would be open to having with big cable companies. And you know what? I will say this. So John is John. There will never be another John, right? Mike is good. Mike actually is more of a level-headed guy. I think a lot more people will be able to relate to him in terms of the business savvy side. Not that John's not business savvy. He just comes off a certain way. Mike is more of a level-headed guy. He's not as extreme or animated or goofy or, I don't know. He seems like more of the average guy. Anyways, he's very sensitive to some key parts of the business, which is really good. I think people are going to like this guy. He's not going to be John. Nobody can ever be John, but if he does his own thing, he seems to really understand the business. I think John is handing off the business to a really good professional and a solid executive. So, one more thing, they talked about DSS. I've got more details. I'll be talking about that in another video, but that's pretty much it, everything from the earnings. So John's final earnings report, it was fun. There were little witty moments with John, but John was really pushing towards Mike Seaver to answer many of the questions, and it's perfectly fine. That's really probably part of that transitional thing that they're trying to do with the company. So I was happy to see that, and I really thought Mike nailed it. Cowboy Hat and those other guys did fine. Anyways, if you appreciated this update and you appreciated all the synthesis of the material, please do like this video and share it to your favorite social media. That would do me a solid. That'd be awesome. Also, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and do hit that notification bell if you want to get notified whenever I do upload new content. And of course, do check out those links in the description box down below for all the things happening with the SMT Nation. And do sound off in the comment section below. What do you want to say about this quarter from T-Mobile? What do you want to say about this kind of being John's final earnings report or anything that was discussed in the topics of the video, including Mike Sievert coming on and quarterly report and all those different components. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say, the pulse of the people, the SMT Nation. I'd love to see that. So go ahead and sound off in the comment section below. Again, thank you for watching. Check out some of these other videos before you guys head out. That would help me a lot. And of course, there is tons going on in wireless, so keep it tuned and keep it locked to the SMT YouTube channel. That wraps up this one. Again, thank you for being here. I hope you guys have a great rest of the day. I'm the SMT, and we'll catch you on the next video. Peace.